I always wondered, well, maybe not always wondered, but every so often I think about, would my 12-year-old self be proud of where I am at in life today? I think it's kind of an interesting thing to think about. So I want to tell you a little bit of a story. Way long ago, I built this ramp. I asked all of my oldest friends if they have any photos of the ramp, and no one had a single photo. So at this point, I have nothing to show you, but I think it's kind of funny because I'll show you the second ramp we built. So the first ramp was 4 feet tall and had 1 foot of straight vert. This literally means that when you dropped in, you would basically just drop to flat. It was so hard, nearly impossible to skate. In fact, the trick that I do on vert, which is kind of a joke, the trick that I first do, like where I put my back to the coping, I learned that on that 4 foot tall ramp with a foot of vert because it was literally the only trick possible on the ramp. And get the idea, like I'm a little guy at the time. Maybe the transition was a little better because I was small, whatever. But then the second ramp, which I have footage of, which is this ramp right here. Yes, we painted it this beautiful green color. I can't remember where that green came from. I think it was just literally in my friend Brian Lefebvre's garage, and we just said, hey, let's just paint the ramp like this. So you can see, we realized on the first ramp how bad we messed up with the vert, 1 foot of vert. So on the second ramp, we decided no vert. In fact, it was so much no vert that it was basically like a slight transition into a bank. Which I just think is so funny. How just being kids and just saying, hey, we're gonna build a ramp. Do you know how to? No. But are we going to? Yes. We're gonna do our best, we're just gonna do it. Now that I think about it, I wasn't 12 there at all. I was probably more like 14? Yeah, I don't know, but that was a few years later because I started skating around 10 and then came forward from there. But I think it's just a funny, interesting thing that now, so many years later, I have a vert ramp and a private skate park, whatever. I hate calling it a private skate park because it seems so like, private skate park. But I have this place where we are allowed to film, and we built this vert ramp. We never really talked much about where the vert ramp came from or how this came about, but I'll tell you the story. So we're skating here, we're making all these videos, and then one day, the guys, Ricky and some of the other team members, go to skate a vert ramp in this place that's close to the Braille house called Richmond, where they have a ramp there. And JD Sanchez, who, if you watched his introductory video, I had done videos with him before, when he was 6 years old, and then when he was 8 years old, I taught him how to do a frontside 180 when he was 6, which is super amazing. And then he taught me a trick on the mini ramp when he was 8, long ago. And now he's 11 and he completely kills it. So these guys were at this vert ramp and they saw JD skating and they were like, dude, there's this kid, his name is JD Sanchez, he's so good. And they were just like, Aaron, you have to get him on to Braille skateboards. Just get him on to Braille skateboards, talk to him, talk to his dad. And so I was like, oh man, yeah, it would be awesome. So I'll reach out to him and see what he thinks. And so I reached out to him, he loves Braille. And we had those earlier things where I taught him how to frontside 180, which is super rad. I guess like I can get super nostalgic on that kind of stuff. To see him learning a frontside 180 and me teaching him and just being like, okay, just another random day at the skate park, teaching a kid how to do a frontside 180. And then a couple years later to see him doing 540s out of a vert ramp is like, it's amazing! I think the hardest part of learning how to skateboard is that very beginning. So you have to take that very beginning and just push through it and learn as many tricks as you can. And then after you're over that hump of the very beginning first few tricks, I'm trying to make that part, that learning that very beginning first part easier. And that's part of the whole point of the Braille app and Braille Army Plus. I won't go too much into that, but that is what we're attempting to do, is make it easier for brand new people to start. So it's fascinating for me, and I get super nostalgic to teach JD frontside 180, and then he's doing 540. So then all the Braille guys are at this vert ramp and they say, you gotta get him on Braille skateboard. It's gonna be so awesome, he's so rad. So then we do, and then he's here. His parents should win like Parents of the Year Award, Parents of the Universe Award, because they're just the most amazing, supportive parents ever. They're like, JD, you want to go skate the Braille house? Good, let's go. Get in the car. And we're going to the Braille house. We're going to Fremont Skate Park. We're going here, we're going there. And they're just so supportive of JD. And it makes sense why he's been able to progress so fast. And his dad, who we have named JD's dad for obvious reasons, because he's his dad, so we named him JD's dad. He's otherwise known as Tim the Toolman Taylor, or his actual name is Danny. Shout out Danny, JD's dad. He kept saying, literally every day I saw him, he would go like this, Aaron, you gotta build a vert ramp. Aaron, we need a vert ramp. And he would like show me the specs, and he would say like, you could fit a vert ramp in the back room. And I was like, no, we can't. The ceiling, this, that, the other thing, there's all these problems. And he just kept saying, Aaron, you need a vert ramp, you need a vert ramp. You need a vert ramp. And then one day I took him back there and I was like, where would the vert ramp go? Draw it out for me. Okay, so we got this here, we got that. And then I was just like, okay, let's do it. Never in my history of skateboarding would I have ever thought to myself, yeah, I want to skate vert. It just wasn't a thing. But I have to admit, and I said this in another video too, I said like, if you're a street skater and all your skating is street, and you look at a person doing a backside air out of a vert ramp and you say to yourself, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to see what that feels like. I don't want to feel what it feels like to fly through the air. I think you're lying. I think you do. Even if you don't, you say like, oh, I don't want to wear a helmet, whatever. I think you do. I think that feeling is so amazing and incredible that you want to see what it feels like. And it's just so fascinating for me now that I've jumped into it. So I never wanted to do that, never had the thought. Really, the vert ramp was for JD. That's like JD's ramp. But then after we built it, I was like, okay, you can't have a vert ramp and not skate it. So then I got really excited. It sort of like ignited the same passion. Like it took me back to where I was when I was 10 and 12 and 14 years old, and I was building these new ramps, and it was so exciting. And it wasn't about like getting sponsored or looking cool or anything else. It's funny, I joke around in the vert ramp, I always say like, thanks to my sponsor, or should I make a sponsor me tape and send it in? It's like, it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, it's like, you know, being a kid and like thinking about someday in the future, maybe I would be good enough to be sponsored. That would be so epic. That would be awesome. But at the end of the day, you're just like hanging out with your friends. It's the summer. You're like going to the store and getting 25-cent Mellow Yellows and just drinking soda and skating this little mini ramp in the backyard. So amazing. So having the vert ramp to me really kind of takes me back to that. Then I'm starting to learn, and every day I'm learning. I feel like skating the vert ramp is like, it's like going to battle. It's like going to war. One misstep and I feel, and maybe this is not totally true, and the more I learn about the ramp, which I'll get into, the more I learn that it's actually quite safe. But I feel 1 inch of stepping my foot off in one direction and my leg is broken. I've never broken my leg in my entire life. I've broken my foot in 2 places. Yeah, knock on wood. Sprained my ankle probably 20 plus times. That's the injury of choice. And I've never, that I can remember, I was thinking about this, I don't think I've ever injured a wrist. I mean, maybe I've fallen or something. Oh yeah, recently Gabe asked me to like ride this crazy one-wheeled scooter bike up, and I broke my finger, and then I sprained my ankle, and then I sprained, it's hard to say totally on the wrist, but I'll get to that in a minute. So then we start learning how to skate. It's very gradual baby steps just on the mini ramp. Just like, man, I remember the first day learning how to do a backside slash, super scary. Learning how to drop in, super scary. But I had already dropped in on a bigger ramp my very first time, which I'll show you. And then, so that got me more comfortable. And then we went to the Berkeley ramp, that got me more comfortable. So I was pretty comfortable with the drop in. But it's interesting because it's like street skating. Like if you learn how to ollie and you do one ollie, you're like, oh, I did an ollie. If you do an ollie every single day for a year, you've mastered that ollie. You've got it good. So this is where I'm at with the vert. I can do an ollie. If I want to ollie the 5-stair, I can send it. There's a high chance that I will fall and get hurt. There's also a chance that I will land it. This is basically what every trick I've learned on the vert is similar to a brand new skater jumping off of 5-stair. I somehow make it out okay, and that's why you see me mentally stressing out, freaking out. I try to figure out on every trick I do, how do I get out of this safely? If I need to kick my board out, how do I jump away? How do I knee slide? And you see us, we learned how to knee slide. Then it was the tail stall, the backside slash, and then I don't even remember all the tricks we learned in the proper order. It doesn't totally matter, I suppose. Then I learned front side slash, I think was one of the very absolute scariest things because you're literally on a straight up and down vertical wall, a 1.5 foot up a vert, and then going, you're backwards. So you're literally like that, and it feels like you're gonna fall back and fall on your head. However, you don't do that, and it's this weightlessness, this beautiful weightless feeling. And then, so I get that, then I get the fakie ollie, which just felt so amazing. Early grab backside air, again, so amazing. But there was this one backside air that I did, which was probably the best one I've ever done. Unfortunately, I didn't land. I slipped back and I fell. And that one thing got me so freaked. I was like, I could slip back hard enough and fall hard enough on this ramp that I'd break my hip, and then I go back into that whole thing. So in your mentality of skateboarding, no matter if it's a vert or street or whatever, build yourself up as slow as you can, practice as much as you can, and never just jump into it. Just never just go, oh, I'm just gonna send the 5-stair. You gotta make sure you are fully ready to do that. And when you're fully ready to do that, then you can do that. And you should also, another thing I just wanna say, I've been reading the comments and people are like, Aaron, you don't need to skate the vert for us. You don't need to skate the vert for views. I'm skating the vert for this guy because this guy wants to do that. I want to feel the feeling of going into the air and doing a backside air. This is like my dream. After I learn the backside air and I get to the point where I can do like 2-foot backside airs and just grab and just casually roll backside airs back to back to back, that might be the end of my vert. But I sort of feel like once I get that, I'm gonna be so hooked that I'm gonna be like, okay, I could kickflip grab, I could do this kind of grab, maybe not kickflip grab, maybe that's way too hard. But yeah, there is one day when I did do kickflip, like backside flip, like in the ramp, but like below the coping. And yeah, so cool. It's so cool, the feeling of it, because it's way different than street. There was one attempt where I literally landed primo on the vert. And then I was like, this is the craziest thing ever. Because I landed primo fully sideways, completely crazy. And then the 187 Killer Pads team came and they just shredded, absolutely killed it. I did another backside flip with them there. And it was just so, there's the energy. It's just like a completely different world. Street skating and vert skating are completely different worlds. And I love that I can go and like mix them, and it's just, I don't know. So I get into that, and it's kind of, the vert ramp is kind of taking me back to being a kid. But what I was saying is like every time I skate the vert, it's a battle. And I feel I'm going to battle. I'm going to war. I got my gloves. I had to get ready for this. I got helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, fully ready for battle. And I also go into it with a mentality of something could go very wrong here on every time I go. Yeah, the two tricks that are one of the scariest tricks that I failed to mention is rock to fakie and rock and roll. And then the second time I tried rock and roll, I only did rock and roll one day. Second time I tried, I fell hard, bodied hard. But I'm getting these sort of basic fundamentals in, and I'm going to battle. But it's important to me that I have this mentality. Ricky says, he has this little saying, it's like, healthy fear. Healthy fear, mate. You need to have the healthy fear. He means like, if you're too scared to do anything, you're just holding yourself back and you're letting the fear control you. You're letting that win. If you don't have any fear, you're just sending it off 5-stair, 10-stair, 12-stair when you're not ready, and that you're just basically like, you may as well just take your car and run it into a wall and get injured. Like that's, so you have to have a balance between trying it, not so much fear that you totally stop, like giving it an attempt, but slowly building your way up. It's interesting helping people learn how to skate on Braille Army Plus. I learned so much from teaching other people and from their, I will call it the struggle of learning, I have the same struggle. We all have the same struggle. Different stories, different journeys, similar struggle. But oftentimes people will say, Aaron, can you make a video and encourage my friend to drop in? And I'm like, I am willing to make that video and say, hey, drop in, you got it. But I want to make sure he really has it. Do not step on a skateboard for your first day and go, I'm just going to drop in. It's bad. And I don't want to tell somebody, hey, you got it, when they don't. So I always say, if you have worked your way up and you've practiced enough and you feel confident and comfortable, hey, you got it. And maybe there's this point, confident is good, comfortable maybe not, because you're going to go through this thing where you're pushing past your comfort zone. It just is what it is. So the funny thing with this little injury on my wrist is that I was skating at night. So first of all, we're doing these vert videos and we're just doing them once a week. So I'm skating the vert once a week. Very rarely did I come and practice or skate the vert. I've only done it a few times. So we've had the vert ramp about 6-7 weeks. So in total, maybe I've skated the vert ramp about 10, 11 times, maybe 12 times total, right? And it's basically just like, okay, pad up. You're going to war. Good luck. Hopefully you make it through. And every day I finish a video on the vert, I feel like, whew, I made it through. I made it out, injury-free, no hospital, nothing. I also don't want to say like skateboarding is so dangerous, because it's not. It's not. If you take all the world sports and everything, you're more likely to get hurt playing football with all the pads and other people and you're smashing into each other. You have to do it smart. You have to learn how to do it correctly. It has to be on the proper gradient. And then from there you can do it. Like I was saying, every time I know I'm safe because I know how to jump out of whatever I'm attempting. Sometimes it'll be an hour and a half or 2 hours straight of attempts of me kicking away. And I kick away until the point where mentally I'm ready. Okay, I'm gonna land this try. And then I tell myself I'm going to land and my body starts sweating. That's when I know I actually decided I'm going to land. And then I will try. And then generally what happens is I land after maybe a few more attempts because I'm still like in that mentality of kicking out, which is not good. You don't want to be in that mentality of kicking out. You want to land. So then I land and then I think to myself, that was so easy. I should have done it first try. I should have just done it. Like it scary, yes. Doable and easy, yes. So fascinating thing. So then I'm skating at night. Ricky and I come to just have a little sesh. That's why there's not really any much footage of this. We have like one angle, which is from the security camera, which I'll show you of this fall. But it's funny because I tell Ricky, hey, should we film this? And he's like, nah, let's just skate. Let's just skate for the love. And I was like, man, it's not that I do it for the views or anything like that. And again, I'm doing it just for myself. But this is what I said, and this was my reasoning. And I told him this. I said, if I body, I want that video. Like I want it on video. I want the whole story of what happened, how did it happen, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, okay, super funny because we're just like, okay, yeah, let's just have a session. Me, JD, Ricky, and then we're skating and I'm just getting comfortable with the ramp. I'm starting to feel better and better and better. And the more comfortable I get, the more I let down my healthy fear, my like bit of like, we're going to battle war zone. And the interesting thing that I've learned about the vert ramp and about all skating, I think this really applies on the street as well. If you're padded up and you bend your knees, you're low enough to the ground that pretty much anytime you fall, you're gonna get out of it and you're gonna be okay. So I'm skating, I'm doing fine. I'm doing rock and to fakie and getting really comfortable. I'm getting so comfortable that then I go up and do a simple kick turn, which is the absolute easiest thing for me to do on the ramp. My knees are not bent. I come down from the kick turn and my knees are so not bent that my body weight is forward. And before I know it, I fall forward off of the flat bottom, which is the weirdest place to fall at the end of the flat bottom and straight into the wall. So it's basically like going pretty fast because I went pretty high up the ramp and got a nice pump straight into a wall. And it happened so fast. And I was basically like so unaware of where my body was and what was occurring that I just instantly thought, put my hand out. The wrong thing to do because I'm training on the vert ramp specifically to fall in a very specific way, like this. So what I should have done is just fell into that ramp like this, fully elbow padded up. Would have been totally fine. Would have just slid on the elbow pad, hit the knee pad maybe. I hit my hip, got a nice bruise on the hip. So my hip went into the wall and my elbow pad went down. But what happened was I freaked, I put my hand down, and then I just went into it like that. And I was like, I am done skating this ramp tonight, which is the wrong place to end. And I did think to myself, maybe I should just do another rock to fakie just to do it. But in this circumstances, if you get hurt, you stop, you just stop. But if I'm skating and I fall off the board, generally I will land that trick so I don't end on that, because the next time I go to that vert ramp, the battle just intensified for me mentally. The mental battle on that vert ramp intensified, and I know already, I'm already preparing. I gotta push through that. And that first day, I'm gonna be slamming that Iron Maiden. I'm probably gonna buy an Iron Maiden t-shirt and show up with the Iron Maiden t-shirt and slam into that ramp, and it's go time. At that night, I was like, my wrist hurts, but it's not that bad, whatever. The next morning, it hurt quite a bit, and I was like, I'm gonna go and get an x-ray just to get it checked out. So went, got an x-ray. The radiologist said, we think that you have what's called a compression fracture, which means this bone here and this bone here smashed into each other pretty hard, but it's hard to tell on the x-ray if you got a full fracture or not. Could just be a sprain, might be a fracture. Then the doctor was like explaining to me all the stuff that the radiologist said. And so I said, what is the handling for a compression fracture versus the handling for a sprain? And they said, what do you call this? Not really a wrist guard, wrist brace? A brace. They said a brace. I said, so okay, so it's the same thing. Get a brace. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, you just want to keep it in such a place where you're not really moving it around much, because in the case that it is fractured, it will heal properly if you don't have it moving around much. So I said, okay, hit me with the brace. It's all good. They also said you should probably come back in a week and get another x-ray, and we can see for certain if that is fully broken or not. But now I feel pretty good about it. I got the brace. It's been a couple days. It is feeling way, way, way better. Like after that first day, it hurt a lot. And then the next day I was like, this isn't so bad. And the next day after that, I was like, we're good. Let's go skate the vert ramp. Not really. I'm gonna give myself time to heal, and then I'm gonna be back at the vert series. I made a promise to Andy McDonald that I would get a backside air. He said, I want you to practice, get a backside air at least up 2 feet above that coping. So I'm not giving up now. Never give up. Despite the April Fool's joke with the rapping, you never give up. You just keep going, you keep going, you keep going, right? I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna keep going until we get that. The next 5 or 10 episodes of the vert series might be me trying to get backside air. I'll try and learn some other tricks as well to mix it up. I'm super excited, and I have to give a huge, huge thanks to JD's dad and JD's mom for just being such amazing, rad people and being very inspiring as parents, and just all the help that they've brought. JD's dad, I don't know if I even explained this earlier, JD's dad, along with his friend, literally built the entire vert ramp. Everything, from ground up. Every cut, every screw, everything they built. Completely and utterly amazing. So again, for me to step into that world as a brand new beginner gives me a totally new perspective, because my goal in the world is to take new people and bring them into skateboarding. I want to take brand new people that thought they would never skateboard, and I want to bring them in. I don't care if they're skating street, skating transition, vert ramps, bank ramps, freestyle, no ramps, they're parking lot in their local grocery store, in front of their house, wherever they're skating, I don't care. I just care that they're skating, because for me, you can see how many life lessons I learned from skating. Yes, I fell down. Yes, I will get back up. Yes, the radiologist thinks I broke my wrist. Probably did fully break my wrist. Here's my x-ray. If there are any doctors in the house, let me know what you think. This will heal, and it will be better again. And then I will make myself go to that vert ramp and do all the tricks that I did before, and I will backside air that, and I will champion that, and it will feel amazing, and it will be great, and it will be a great experience for me. I love the other part of it, about it, that I was talking to my friends about earlier, is like, I can go and skate and like for the love, but the other part of skating that I love is I love making videos. 2 things in life I love: skateboarding and videos. So I love skating even more when I'm making a video. I get to look it back, I get to inspire other people, I get to motivate them, I get to help them, and it doesn't become just about me, and what am I doing, and oh, it's this, is that, blah. It's about the other people in the community. And so the community that we're growing, the good, positive community, is completely amazing. And I have to thank you all for that. If you've been thinking to yourself, geez, I really wish I could skate vert like that, well, now you're in luck. Skateboarding Made Simple Volume 8, available for the first time ever, only on the Braille Army Plus membership. Join a supportive community of skateboarders helping you learn on the Braille Army Plus membership. 10% off all of your skateboarding gear, exclusive video content not found anywhere else, first up on all of the special Braille releases, and the members-only Braille Army Plus Discord server. You get exclusive access, you get in on all of the live streams. Join Braille Army Plus now. Get help from the community of skaters pushing skateboarding all over the world. Get all of the Skateboarding Made Simple volumes straight to your phone on an easy-to-use iPhone and Android app. That's over 80 videos right in the palm of your hand, anywhere you are. Join Braille Army Plus. It's everything a skater needs. So a huge thanks to every single one of you guys for your amazing help and support. Some of you guys have been here since the beginning of time. Some of you are brand new. Whether you're a street skater or a transition skater, we are all coming together. We're all skaters. It doesn't matter if you're the most hardcore skater and all you do is skating and you love it and you're, whatever. We're all skaters. We're unified behind the fact that we love rolling on a piece of wood with wheels. That's it. We love it. Let's go. We're out here. Check out all those videos right there. Subscribe, like, leave a comment below. And if you want to learn how to skateboard or you want 10% off of all your skateboard gear, get on Braille Army Plus. It is the absolute best way to learn how to skateboard, period. Let's go.